Hi and welcome to I Design My Life. I'm Sumit and I'm a life and a mind coach. So today we are going to continue from where we left last time. We were talking about beliefs and today we are going to cover the kinds of beliefs. Today we are going to see how self-beliefs are formed based on the principles of generalization, deletion and distortion. So what we are going to do is I'm going to take up a case study where I worked with a client and see how his self-beliefs were formed and how we broke the problem down. So friends, belief is like a tabletop and it has got few legs as well. So whenever self-beliefs are formed, these beliefs are formed on the legs of generalization, deletion and distortion. Because of this mental filters, we create beliefs and create references for us which might be true or which might not be true. So any self-beliefs which are formed, they're based on these three principles: generalization, deletions and distortion. So just imagine a tabletop along with these three legs. So let's start with this gentleman. He was having problems in his office when he was speaking to his boss, when he has to speak in a meeting. So he was really struggling at these places. So when he came to me, he said that I'm not good enough. I am not really sure how to go about public speaking. So let me point out the language he is using over here. The language he is using is I am not good enough. So this is a belief about him. He believes that he is not good enough. Second statement, he said that I am not sure if I am good at public speaking. So here he is talking about his capability, that he is not capable of this. So this is belief about himself. This is his self-belief. Now let's get into how this belief got formed in the first place. And this is what we are going to discuss. As we have already said, that self-belief is like a tabletop. It stands on the legs of generalization, deletion and distortion. Let's look at individually of these things and see how this would have contributed in him forming self-belief about himself which are not very helpful for him. So let's start with the generalization first. So what is generalization? The word says generalize. That means make something bigger. So what people usually do is they pick up one or two instances and then they generalize it for everything. For example, once it used to happen in my office that there was a guy, he came late once and then he came late again twice. And I was overhearing this conversation where my manager was saying that you are always late. Now that is not right, because if you see the data, out of 10 times he would have been late only 2 times. That does not mean that he was always late. And that's where this generalization happened. So anytime you are speaking to yourself, or if you are speaking to someone, or if someone is speaking to you and they are using these words all, always, every time, none, all these are indications of generalization. So coming back to the example, let's talk about this gentleman. What has he got to do with generalization? Now when I spoke to him, there was an underlying belief which was running inside, and which was I am always judged. Now listen to the language. I am always judged. Always is a thing. That means he's saying that I'm always judged. And that's when I asked him, always? So you mean to say when you are at home you are judged? When you are in a shopping mall you are judged? When you are in office you are judged? And he said, no, I mean in the office. I'm always judged in office. I then asked, how many people do you speak to in office? And he said, probably I think 10, 15. So I asked, you mean to say that everyone judges you while you're speaking. He said, no, 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 no. It's only my boss and his senior. I believe that they judge me when I speak. So now you see, it's not everyone. It has come down to two specific people, his boss and his senior. So guys, this is one mistake we all make. We make a mountain out of a mole. So guys, it is only two people and two instances where this guy is not confident of. But that has led him to believe that he is not a good public speaker. He is not good enough. So you see, this generalization has created a reference for him, and the way he is analyzing the things, he has created a belief for himself that he is not good enough. Now coming on to the second principle, deletion. What do we mean by deletion? Deletion means when we delete a lot of data. For example, I've seen people saying, my wife doesn't listen to me. My husband doesn't listen to me. He always shouts at me. And then you ask, always? And then they will say that they shouted me at this point, this point, this point. All right. Then I ask, so you mean to say that they have never spoken to you peacefully? And they'll say, no, no, no. They do speak to me peacefully. I said, all right. How many times do you have an argument with them? And they say, once a week. So that means 6 days a week they were peaceful with you, and they would say yes. And this is what was getting deleted. So coming back to our example, what was this gentleman deleting? This gentleman was deleting all the good talks he had with his other colleagues apart from these two people, his boss and his senior. But he was deleting this data. He was deleting all the time when he is speaking with his friends, when he is with his family, when he feels confident when he is speaking. So that's where this principle of deletion is working. So guys, if you think that your world is all wrong, go inside, question yourself. I'm sure it is not all wrong. Please watch the language you are speaking. If you're using this word all, none, every time, always, please become very, very careful. So we have seen how deletion works. So he deleted everything good he was doing in terms of speaking with his friends, families and other colleagues. Now let's get back to the third principle, distortion. What does distortion mean? Distortion means changing the meaning of something. You're distorting things. For example, you pick up a paper and you crumble it. You change its shape. It is not a paper anymore. And this is where most of the people make a mistake. And there are two things you need to remember over here. There are only two kinds of beliefs I get worried about when distortion happens. And these two are cause and effect kind of beliefs and equal to beliefs. And I'm going to take it one by one. So what do I mean by cause and effect belief? Listen to the word cause and effect. Because of something, something happened. Because of X, Y happened. I am poor because I was born in a poor family. I did not do this because of this, that or that. The moment we start using this language and if we start making these beliefs, what we are doing is we are shifting the responsibility outside of us. Coming back to our example, this gentleman said that I am not a good speaker because I was the youngest in my family. So I was not given a chance to speak. Whenever I used to speak, my voice was suppressed. Now, which might be a very true case, and it was true in his case. Now coming back to the equation, I cannot speak well because my voice was suppressed. So what do we do in this case? What we have to do is, we have to remember that the responsibility lies within us. The entire scenario might have changed because he's not young anymore. He has a family, he's got 2 sons. He is not speaking to his father. Things have changed and we have to acknowledge them and come out of this cause and effect relationship. If the cause and effect relationship is not serving you, come out of it. And in the next video, we are going to extensively look at how we are going to get out of these things. But please remember this equation: X then Y. Because of X, Y happened. Because of this, that happened. I'm not good because I'm this. I'm not good because I'm not intelligent. I'm not good because I did not study the subject. The next kind of distortion belief which I get really concerned about is X means something. For example, in my childhood, there were few days when I was not really hungry, but my mom still used to feed me because she believed that if she was not feeding me, it means that she was not doing the role of a mother. Right? My not eating means that she is not being a mom. My not eating means that she is not a good mother. So you're seeing the kind of beliefs. X means something. This is where what we do is we drive a meaning out of it. We drive our own meanings out of it. For example, husband comes home, wife brings him tea and starts speaking very respectfully. He says, there's something wrong. She needs something out of me. Now you're seeing the meaning people are driving, and that's where most of the things go wrong. So coming back to our example of this gentleman, how was distortion being played in his case? So what he did was he went for this presentation with this boss and his senior, and somehow something went wrong over there. And those guys really told him off. Now the confidence of this person really got shattered. And he started believing that since I was not good enough at that point in time, I'm not going to be good in future. So the meaning he was driving was, since I was not good in past, it means I'm not going to be good in future as well. Which is not true, because your past is not equal to your future. The circumstances in the past are entirely different to the circumstances that are in the future or in the present. So guys, please be careful, and please remember, when you're trying to drive meaning out of some things, you might drive a meaning which might be limiting you. Just how this belief was limiting this gentleman. All these generalization, deletion and distortion led him to believe that he was not good enough. So when it comes to self-image, there are two kinds of belief. One is around identity and the other is around capability. So what do I mean by identity and capability? Identity belief is I am not good enough. That means me as a person is not good enough because I'm not a good speaker. Second, I'm not sure if I'm good at public speaking. And this is a belief around his capability. So guys, please be aware of this identity and capability belief, because if you believe that you're not good enough, there's a good chance that you're not going to take the action. And all your beliefs might be an interpretation of something which is coming out of your past experiences and past results. This might just not be true, as it was not true for the elephant. The elephant who had chains tied in his legs and he was not able to break the chains when he was young. But he stopped crying when he was young and more powerful, because he thought that he could not break that chain. Circumstances have changed. He is much stronger. He can always break the chain. So guys, if you failed in the past, it does not really mean that you're going to fail in the present or future as well, because things keep on changing. You might have evolved in this time. So do not get your legs tied by this limited belief. And I would request you to go inside and look at your beliefs and see which are the beliefs which are stopping you from moving forward. And that is something we are going to discuss in our next video on limited beliefs. So So let me quickly summarize the session. So self-image contains two levels of beliefs: beliefs at identity level and the beliefs at capability level. Identity level belief is I'm not good enough. Capability is I don't think I know this thing, or I'm capable of something. These beliefs are formed on the foundations of three principles: generalization, deletion, and distortion. When you're talking about generalization, remember the use of word all. Everyone, no one, always. When you're talking about deletion, think about the instances which you have deleted just to create certain kind of an inference which is limiting you. Third is distortion. Are you changing the meaning of something? Whatever you are interpreting, is it really true? And that's when an external person can really help you. Maybe a life coach might help you because they come from a very independent perspective. They see things in objectivity and they ask you questions which allow you to go inside and look further, because our beliefs are our blind spots. We do not even realize that we have limited beliefs. It was at least true in my case. So guys, this is it for this session. Please do not forget to watch the next session because it is very important. It would be about limited beliefs, and I would be giving you an exercise which is going to sum up everything we have done in the beliefs section. Till then guys, say to yourself, I'm responsible for my life and I design my life.